All right, let's do an audio check. Can you guys hear me okay? How is everybody doing? And you can see I have gold up in front of us now. But let's hurry up and get this done. It's technically a holiday. You know, the day's over. Let's go ahead and jump to it. Thank you, everybody. It looks like the audio is good. Audio is good. I'm going to be fast because we're talking about this gold trade that I've been watching out early. As always, welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. And there's our top step risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. This is not a signals class. This is for educational purposes only. You guys know the drill. So let's take a look at gold. You know, gold on the hourly chart, very similar to what we were looking at yesterday. Nothing has really changed. We had a holiday. Markets, the U.S. markets were closed. A lot of consolidation. A lot of, you know, really nothing, right? We've just kind of barcoded right here around the 2340s. Since the last time I seen you guys. So let's go ahead and see if this trade will set up again tonight. If we're going to be taking a long or a short, we just have 1 minute. Maybe we missed it. Maybe we should have got in a little bit early. This is a 5-minute chart. There is something to be said. We were down near these lows, and we could either be playing for a breakdown. Maybe there was an opportunity to get in long on the break up. Which that might have been it. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Like I said, there could have, that was, yeah, that could have been it. That definitely could have been it, is the break up on this particular trade. Is this going to be the first time we've seen gold rally? I think so. I think this was a trade to the long side. That was it. I'm going to say that was the trade. I think I don't know if I would have been able to take it. Just looking at this price action, most likely I would have missed this. Maybe there is still a trade to the short side. Like I said, we're just starting. And so let's look at it. I still want to be able to place a trade if there is an opportunity, but most likely it was to the long side. So that being said, how do we think? 100K, we got to 100,000 subscribers. Is that true? Yeah, we have 100,000 subscribers. I don't have anything to say on that, but preparing to, yeah. I got so distracted right there. I have a guest over, and that was a huge distraction. If only you guys knew. I'm going to be celebrating 100,000 subscribers later on. I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Maybe that people are guessing what happened. Let's not go there. Now, well, yeah, this is a good example of why you should not have guests over when you're trying to focus and trade, because stuff like this will happen. I'm not joking. This is a perfect example why you do not have guests over and trade. Girlfriend's wife, whatever. If you have your own office, lock the door. Because you cannot get distracted when you're trying to make money in the stock market or the futures markets. So now that being said, the distraction is no longer here. Wow, that is one heck of a way. I can't even. I don't even know. The whole stream's over. This whole stream is ruined. Well, what do we say, guys? What do we say? Let's move forward. Let's move on. Let's see how good of a skill set I have about changing topics. As always, if you guys do have questions, we have an amazing moderator team. I don't know. I can't even speak correctly. Man, I just can't get that image out of my head now, in front of everybody. What? I'm so glad Top Step team is on vacation. I need to get to someone to make sure this recording doesn't get to the team behind. Let's take a 5-minute break and regroup, and let's do rip shot clock. I need rip shot clock, and that has nothing to do with a trade. Reset. Where did we go? Yep. Yeah. Just forget. Everybody forget what happened. We missed this trade. We missed this long. And I was thinking about getting into a long. This is one. Oh my gosh. Wow, man. This gold move. This is quite the long gold. Oh man. Yep. The whole stream's ruined for the rest of the night, guys. How about that move? That was one heck of a move. There, and you know what? Maybe now if we start focusing on the gold, yeah, you guys just. Oh, it hasn't even been 5 minutes, everybody. It has not even been 5 minutes. This is one heck of a holiday stream. Okay, what did you miss? You guys didn't miss anything. You guys are gonna just screw with me this whole stream now, aren't you? All right, where's I'm speechless. I missed this gold trade and I got super distracted. And I'm lost for words. I really am, everybody. Where can we start talking? I mean, this gold trade, did anybody catch this long? Did anybody catch the long in gold? This was such a beautiful entry, beautiful pump. Who caught this long? Tony, you caught it. Dang. Yes. Ooh, a few of you guys caught this. So let's analyze this trade because we can't be 100% biased to the downside. Man, a good majority of you guys caught this long. I mean, is maybe the trade would be to reverse, right? Do we want to try and catch a reversal on this now that we've rallied up? And we play a reversal. That could have been an option. Essentially tonight's and this opening, the 8 p.m. Central Time open trade for gold is not a reversal. It's more of a breakout trade. So I'm going to focus on how we analyze this from a breakout standpoint. And so let's think about that. How could we have entered into this trade? You know, was there an opportunity? Was there something in the markets that would have signaled me into a long? So we did the same thing to get into shorts, right? Where we were looking for pivots and maybe a breakdown. You know, if the market breaks down below those pivots, we get into a short, and it's been working really well. The same thing is for the long side. So there's definitely something here that could have signaled us into a long in gold. And this was, I mean, look at this rally. It went from 23.41 and it was just up and up and up. Wow, that was one heck of a candle. So that was a beautiful move in gold. And if we would have taken the break, so essentially do the exact opposite of what we've been doing, you know, you can imagine flipping your computer monitor upside down and you're looking to play on the break right at the 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time break. So you could have easily got in, you know, essentially do the exact same thing we've been doing, but instead of taking a short, you do the same thing to the long side. So this makes me happy. The fact that we missed it, of course, I'm not happy that we missed it, but I'm happy that we were able to get this big of a move to the long side because this just kind of proves what we're looking for, because we're looking for movement. It doesn't matter whether it's, a sell-off or a rally. Us as traders, we want the movement. We want volatility. This is exactly what we want to see, because if everyone who got in long, there was money to be made, and there was quite a bit of money to be made in a matter of minutes, right? That's a matter of 5, 6, maybe 7 minutes, and it was just straight up. So there is definitely something to take advantage of here in gold. And essentially, it's exactly the same thing as what we've been doing. Just flip your computer monitor upside down and take advantage of it to the long side. The move's already been made. I'm not going to trade this. I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to look for any reversals. I'm not going to look for a continuation. The move has already been made. The trade that I've been analyzing and looking at has been the open. It moved a little bit before the open, and it was just straight up. So that was the move. If you didn't take it, too bad. There will be another opportunity tomorrow maybe. And it's basically just one trade every single day based off this setup. And tonight it was to the long side. That being said, let's move to these other markets. We'll continue to see how this gold trade plays out. I'm going to just do a theoretical, and I love doing theoretical trades to see how it would have played out. So maybe there was a reason for us to get in here at 23.42 and a 5. So maybe there was a reason for us to get in here, 42 and a half, or possibly, this would be a lot harder, but if we would have got in right at the open of the 8 p.m. slow markets, maybe we'd have got in at 23.43 and a half. So those were two possible locations. I don't know if we would have been able to get in at this breakout, but somewhere in this zone, we would have been able to get in. Let's just give us the worst case scenario. If we got in all the way up here and we got long at 23.43 and a half, most likely I would like to see my stop loss at 23.41. And yeah, let's just see how it would play out. Whether we trail it, whether it turns around and comes back and stop us out, because this is something where it comes to just, we're analyzing this trade. We're going to see how this trade will play for the long side. And let's take a look at where some take profits would have been. So here's an hourly chart. I don't really want to base too many take profits off an hourly chart. Definitely near these highs. So I'm pretty confident to say that we would have at least hit some take profits. Definitely based off the way that I do like to trade, I could see putting some take profits on these highs. So good one-to-one trade, worked out really well. Maybe looking at a take profit near these pivots right here. So I would say most of my take profits would have already been hit. So this was a very good and a very successful trade. The question is, being able to identify it and get in to this trade, whether it was down here as a really good risk reward, or if we were a little bit late and we still caught it, but not as good of a risk reward. I like it. It makes me happy to see gold reacting like this, even if it's not to the downside and it's still to the long side. Now, that being said, let's continue on to our regular planned schedule. If you guys missed it, we had a little bit of a distraction at the start of class, and we missed this long in the gold. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, and we'll go through our regular rapid fire NASDAQ, crude oil, Nikkei, and we could just continue to monitor gold to see how it went. Here's the daily chart on the NASDAQ. Man, the NASDAQ has been kicking my butt. It really has. I'm in another drawdown again. I'm sure you guys will hear about it tomorrow. I had Brett give me a call from the risk management today. It was really weird. I'm sure you guys are going to hear about it on Shoulder Tap, but I have really been struggling. I don't know. I mean, I kind of have an idea of what it is. It's this freaking market and my own trading. But it was so random. He gave me a call at like lunch today. It was noon, and he called. I just have Topstep phone number. It doesn't show it was Brett. It doesn't show who it's from. It's just the risk management team. And he calls me. I'm like, okay, isn't the Topstep team supposed to be on vacation? And I asked him that. He's like, no, we're busy. The risk management team, like, if the markets are open, they're working, right? And he's like, when do you think we're going to be reducing your daily loss limit? And I'm like, well, so far everything's been good. I've been getting into drawdowns, and I've been, making the drawdowns up, new equity highs, and it's been trading. And this rollover has absolutely crushed me. And he's like, if you let's make a deal. If you hit another daily loss limit, and if your account balance goes down to 50,000, let's reduce your daily loss limit back to where we started, and we'll go from there. So I'm like, yeah, let's do that. It makes sense that my daily loss limit would be at reduced. The way that I've been trading has been pretty aggressive, and I'm okay with trading aggressive on this account, looking at it from this. And essentially, and I think this is important to think through, and I went through it a little bit, Josh, because that's what our conversation was. It says, is my daily loss limit too big, and is my contract size too big for my account size? And I think this is important, okay? Because there's two ways of looking at this, and this is what I've been talking with some of my trading buddies. This is what I was talking about with the risk manager Brett, and I've been trying to figure out how to properly trade a prop account. Yeah, everything's fine and good when you're making money, but then when it comes to taking withdrawals and changing your account balance and adjusting and scaling, I'm having a difficult time in terms of, like, there's 2 points of view that I have, okay? Number one, and I'll get back to the markets in a minute, guys. I just think this is a very important thing. And I'm going to show this on an Excel spreadsheet, if you guys don't mind. Let's look at this. So I want to show this on Excel. And sorry, this is very different than what I really wanted to talk about, but since it's on my mind, I think I should. Because I want you guys to think of this, and I think this is a very good discussion, because we're all going to be, hopefully we should all have this conversation or this thought, or at least think about this at some point. And there's always time for trading. It's slow markets. It's a holiday. This is something special. We'll get back to the market soon. But let's talk about this. So 150K account. When I started at Topstep, I went ahead and I did trading, 3 150K accounts. So 150K. And I traded 3 of them. Okay. And I just want everyone to be on the same page. And maybe this would be something good, because I'm going to switch, and maybe we could have a couple polls tonight. And, we're right at 100,000 subscribers. That is interesting. Give me just 1 second, because I think your guys' feedback is also very important to me, because, to be honest, I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to help you guys as traders, and as a coach, I think it's even more valuable to get your guys' feedback on what your thought process is. So let's go like this. Account size. So I was trading 3 copy trading 3 150K accounts. Now, what does that mean? Contract size. So we all know the contract size for these accounts is 15, right? So thinking at it from this perspective, right? So if we, so this equals a total of, let me do this. So I want to do this so it's very simple and easy for all of us to see. So, and I'm honest. I really want to know what your guys' opinions are, because I'm here for you guys, and the goal for this is to help. Okay. So here's if copy trading 3 accounts, this is what we're looking at. Okay. So 45 contracts, total account value, 450. So a 450K account. So yeah, does that make sense? So far that makes sense. Now here is where my thought process starts to have that conversation with the risk management team and with my other traders. the daily loss limit and the max loss limit. Okay, so max loss limit. So we have a daily loss limit, and it's 3,000, right? So here we go, and there we go. So is this making sense for you guys? Now I'll remember. Feel free, if you have any questions, to just stop me. Ask the question. We have the moderator team that is keeping track of this, because this is very important, and this is my thought process. So let's think of it like this. And now max loss limit. So here we go. This is what I'm thinking of. This is something I've been debating in my head, and this is something like, how should I properly trade a prop firm account? Okay. Think of it like this. So if I'm copy trading 3 accounts, and I'm trying to do this in my live account. So let's just say this is my live account. This is my live account. This is how I'm actually trading. Let me make sure. So I want to compare these two because I'm trading in my live account. This is exactly how I'm trading. I have a $12,000 daily loss limit in my, and of course 0. Okay. There we go. Well, we'll just leave it at 0. Well, whatever. Okay. Yeah, everyone will know this is 0. So let's just think about this. And I'm being honest. I want your guys' honest opinion, because I'm walking through a lot of this on my own, my head, and my goal is to help you guys teach, answer questions, and overall get it to where we're consistently taking payouts and, being good traders. And this is the exact conversation I had today with the risk management team, because I'm struggling, okay? I'm on another drawdown. My current account balance is 62,000. Okay, this is my current account balance and my current situation. Ooh, yeah, I wish it was 620,000. So here we go. Same thing. This is what my current is. So this is what my maintenance, and when I started with, this is what my current. So I'm in a drawdown again, but this is what my conversation was, and I think this is important. I don't mind sharing it with you guys. Is, if I'm trading my live account, so I want to trade my live account, which is here on the bottom, and I want to trade it like I'm copy trading 3 XFAs or 3 accounts, okay? And so I'm thinking, I have a lower contract size, but when I was talking with him, I'm like, well, and it makes sense if this was my personal account, and let's say I have $62,000 in my personal account, and I'm trading it in my personal account, my personal brokerage, and I'm trading $62,000, I'm going to say yes. 30 contracts is huge. It's way too big. My daily loss limit for my personal account, this is way too big, right? Like $12,000 for a $62,000 daily loss limit is huge. If this was my personal account, I would never have something this big, because essentially the percentage of this, I mean, if we're thinking about percentages, I'm risking about 20% of my account every single day. And that's not right. That's way too much to be risking on a daily in my personal account. And these are minis, okay? These are not micros. These are minis, okay? And so, like, okay, in that perspective, that's huge. Like that really is huge, right? And for the way that we're trading and we're trying to maintain this, and it really is big. And I don't like to risk, let's say maybe at most 3%. And so if we're thinking purely based off of that, then I should really have a daily loss limit of 3%, which comes to dramatically lower, right? Oh, that's not 3. So my daily loss limit should be closer to $1,900, maybe $2,000. And this is what I was thinking, right? If this was my personal account, I have $62,000 in my personal account. I should have a daily loss limit of $2,000, okay, at most. And $2,000, I mean, from a contract size perspective, say this is what I'm looking at, $62,000 in my personal account, then yeah, to me, I would say 2% would make sense. And now to lose $2,000, you don't need a lot of contracts. You really do not. Maybe 3 contracts max. So I would say 3 contracts max for this type of account size is a lot more realistic if this was my personal account. Yeah. So what's your thoughts on that, guys? I'm curious on your thoughts on this, because this is something I was having a conversation with the risk management team. This is very important to me. This is something I talk to traders all the time how going through risk management. There's an argument to be made, instead of 3%, maybe, being more aggressive, 5%, and that's still pretty low, right? It's a lot lower than my 12,000 daily loss limit. Okay. So I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, that is what I'm in the conversation of having right now, okay, in my live account. And yeah, it's not, there's no 100% this is the correct way to do it. There is conversation to be had whether it should be 5%, 2%, 1%, a 0.25%. It all really depends on you as a personal trader, and how aggressive you want to be, and a few other things. And there's also a conversation to be said about your contract size. Maybe someone wants to be more aggressive and do 5 contracts. Maybe someone's saying, oh, 1 contract is enough. Maybe minis or micros, And so there is lots of flexibility depending on your own personal way that you like to trade, whether it's 1%, 0.25%, 5%, or 1, 2, 3 contracts. That will vary dramatic depending on trader per trader. But the overall idea is that this is way different, right? 5% compared to 20%. These are dramatically different, right? This is 10 times as big as if I would trade my personal account. Okay, so don't worry, Mike. We'll get back to the charts here in just a moment. I'm touching on this topic because it's very important to me, and it's very important to traders and how to trade properly. So, and understanding the risk management side. And since I had that conversation, and these are the conversations that I am actually having with the risk managers. So now this all is fine. Okay, so take that, and you guys have that as a perspective. Okay, so let's say just put this aside. We'll put this aside and put that over here for safekeeping and good memory. And let's talk about one more thing. Now let's talk about this other way that I'm thinking about. Okay, and this is something that is interesting. Okay, so now this is another way of thinking about it. So if you could look at this, because my max loss limit, this is, let me make sure I'm getting this correct. So I forgot to mention this. My max loss limit on my live account, like your personal live account, is $0. Okay, so I'm trading a $62,000 account. My max loss limit is $0. So therefore, I have a $62,000 account. Now, if I have 350K accounts, I have, 450K, and my contract size is 45. My daily loss limit is now 9,000, and my max loss limit, which is basically your account size right now, right? Your starting account size is 13,500. So from this perspective, and this is something where I'm really curious on your guys' opinion, because everyone's opinion will change differently depending on that, like their risk management style and how aggressive they are. So now if we do some math based off of this, in terms of percentages, the daily loss limit equals 2%. And that is beautiful, right? Based off of this account size and based off of, how this is. So this is perfect. This is about where we want to be. It's less than, this is very, very good on the daily loss limit perspective, correct? Now, right now, this is something that I have been thinking about. If instead of we're looking at this is the account size, because over here on the right hand side of my live account, my account size is the difference between my max loss limit and what I can lose. So I'm looking at it as more of this, and there's something to be said like this, okay? So now based off my max loss limit, which on my live account is 0, and my current balance is 62. So if I start out with a 0, right, in my, say, an XFA, then my daily loss limit is now about 67% of my account value. And I'm looking at my account value as, oh, well, my account value is 13,500. So my contract and my daily loss limit ratio is dramatically different. And now if I'm able to trade this successfully, or at least, be able to manage this, then my live account is a lot safer. I don't know. This is the hardest thing. It's hard to wrap your brain around it. It's an interesting concept. These two different styles of thinking is basing it off the daily loss limit, basing it off your max loss limit, basing it off of account size, or basing it off of your contract size. And there's so many different ways you could think of this and think through this and how much we should be risking, how big of a contract size we should use. But I think, and to me, the most important thing is basing it off of your max loss limit. So to be honest, guys, I would say don't even think of this. Don't even think of the account size. Like, just literally take the account size. In my own opinion, just take that out. Just put that in the back of your brain and forget about the account size. More importantly is your daily loss limit and your max loss limit. Because essentially, as soon as you hit your max limit, your account's blown. So to me, I'm looking at my live account the same way I look at my like an XFA or a combine. I have a $4,500 account, and if I lose that, I mean, just like a personal account, if this was my personal account, you lose $4,500, the account's gone. And I'm looking at this as my daily loss limit is 3,000. My account value is 4,500. Why in the heck would I risk, 70% of my account value in one day, right? And so there's that way of thinking of it. And of course, that being said, 15 contracts is huge for $4,500. So there are multiple ways of thinking about that. And this was the conversation I had with the risk managers. This is the conversation I've had with some of my trading buddies. So yeah, interesting. It's an interesting concept. 29 stumps, max loss limit, account value size. There's a difference between a XFA, a live account. Live account is so much better, guys. Live account is amazing because you could talk to the risk managers. You can, change the contract size. You could change your daily loss limit. The risk managers are absolutely amazing, and they really do want you to succeed. So, yeah, that's what I've been thinking of, and what I came to the conclusion. So now I'm coming to the conclusion, guys, and this is exactly what I said. Is I told the risk managers, and I said, I'm going to trade like this, okay, because my P&L is I've made $62,000, and I'm okay with taking this risk. Now this was the conversation, was my daily loss limit. I'm about 5 daily loss limits away from hitting my max loss, because I was at 100,000 last week, and today I'm at 62. The week before that, I was at like 70, and I ended up the week 118,000. So when you're trading bigger, you do have a lot bigger P&L swings, and essentially based off of this, I am going to be trading this as if it's a, it says a $62,000 account, but I'm going to be trading this like it's 3XFAs, like I have been, and 3XFAs is technically, 400. It's like a 450K account size. So if I have a 450K account size and my max loss limit is, so this is the way that I explained to the risk manager. And like I said, I'm curious and I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on my conclusion. This is my conclusion, and this is the way that I am going to be looking at my trading. So my account balance is, let's just say, my 3 XFAs. So I'm trading it like this. 3 XFAs, 150K XFAs is equal to 450K. My max loss limit was 100K, right? Or it's at 0. Let's just say it's at 0. My daily loss limit, we know it's over here. I don't even need to do this. It's over here on the right-hand side. So that's how I'm going to be trading it, like it's a 450K account balance. Yeah, what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm going to be trading it like it's a 450K account balance, and essentially, 450K, it would make sense to me, because then if it's 450K account balance, here we go. That's my account balance, 450K, because it's 150 times 3, right? Then theoretically, this becomes about 2%. So my daily loss limit becomes closer to 2%. It makes a lot more sense. However, I would have like a max loss limit of 62,000. So tell me what you guys think on this. Yeah, and let the risk manager do the math and you do the trading. Well, I'm a trader, and it's up to me to do my math first, and the risk manager is there to help me manage risk, but ultimately I am the trader, and whether this is a prop account or my personal account, it's more important for us to know what's going on. So I'm going to be looking at it as trading a 450K account balance, and with a $62,000 daily loss limit, $12,000 daily loss limit, and a 30 contract size. That is what I'm going to be doing on here. What's your thoughts on that? And I'm being honest. It was an interesting conversation, as you can imagine. The risk managers are like, they really just, I don't want to see you lose 12K in one day. Like, you guys were fine with me making, 22,000, 25,000 in one day. And I've been through these drawdowns before. Trust me, this type of a drawdown, I've been in it in my live account like 4 or 5 times already, in the past 4 months. But then the way it is, and the way that we were having the conversation is, if my live account gets down to, say, 50,000, then I'm going to just cut everything in half. So if, I guess, drawdown, yeah, that's what it will be. So it's essentially like, if I end up bringing it down to 50,000, let's cut my contract size in half. We'll cut my daily loss limit in half, and then, pretty much go from there. So that is what I'm doing. Let's see. I love these opinions. I mean, everybody has their own opinion on this, right? The thing is, I've went through these drawdowns like 4, maybe even 5 times since I've had my live account, and each time I just bring it back up to new equity highs, $250,000+. My overall, I'm still above $200,000 in the past 4 months. And when you start to trade that big, and same with my personal account, you get used to these kinds of drawdowns, and you have to understand that instead of looking at the dollar amounts, you need to look at this as units. And the way that I look at it is you could eliminate the dollar amounts, right? So you could eliminate the $12,000, and you could also look at it as like, you know, you could just say one daily loss limit, right? One daily loss limit. So that instead of looking at it dollars, this is the way I look at it is, oh, one daily loss limit. My account value is, you know, 100,000. I'm currently in a 3 daily loss limit drawdown, right? And so you could look at it as units, and that's the way I use that. I look at this as 3 daily loss limits, 3 daily, you know, I'm 1 daily loss limit, and then I'm in a 3 daily loss limit drawdown. My winning days, I put up 2 daily loss limits. You know, for example, when I do have a winning day, I can easily put up 2 daily loss limits, which is $24,000. And that I could do that back to back. And so there's multiple ways of thinking at it. I don't like to think about dollar amounts. I 100% look at it as units. I'm in a 3 daily loss limit drawdown. I've been in 4 daily loss limit drawdowns. I've been in 3 daily loss limit drawdowns before. They're just a lot bigger now because my daily loss limit is $12,000. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that does. That's an interesting. I know there's a lot of different perspectives on that, and I do know. Like when I was talking to MP and Hoag, and they said, you know what, you should have at least 10 daily loss limits in your account. Well, I mean, by that logic, if I have a $100,000 account, you know, and I want 10 daily loss limits, then 10 daily loss limits would mean that my daily loss limit would need to be $10,000, right? So by that logic, if I want a $100,000 account and I want that to be 10 daily loss limits, then my daily loss limit would be $10,000. And so that's kind of the way I was looking at it, and that's the way I've been trading. And this is the conversation I have been having with the risk managers. This is the conversation I've been having with my trading friends. And viewing a prop firm is, you know, there's so many different ways that we could do this. There's so many different ways that we could look at this. Now that Topstep now offers, you know, five XFAs, it adds another level and another level of complexity, right? More and more and more. There's different way to do these maths. But yeah, essentially it's all, I mean, you could eventually say this is all the same. We want to trade. We want to consistently make money. Whether you're doing units or you're doing dollars or you're doing, you know, percentages or whatever you're doing. It's a very important topic, and maybe I could touch base on this a lot more as we continue, and hopefully I could continue to answer more and more questions. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, gold's just ripping. Gold's going through that. Oh my gosh. Anyway, let's get to a couple more questions and we'll finish up this rapid fire, guys. How are you going to trade a 62 account value like a 450K account when it's not a 450? It's 7x less than that. I think I explained that, looking at it as like units of measurement, profits. And when I say I'm going to trade it like a 450K account, I'm looking at the daily loss limit and the contract size. How much are the fees once you're trading live? Is it based? No. The nice thing is when you get to a live account, it's just the real data fees. It's the same real data fees that I pay in my personal accounts. There's no other fees once you're live. Man, I was thirsty. That gold trade would have been amazing. So that being said, this would have been a really amazing gold trade. So if you guys missed that beginning of the class, theoretically we could have got long on the breakout right around 23.43, just like we were getting short on gold. And if we would have trailed that, that was a beautiful trade in gold. I really like seeing that. That makes me very happy for my gold trade at 8 p.m. each night. Yeah, Carl Hungus. That's what a lot of people don't realize, and that's what I don't want to say arguing with the risk manager, but I kind of was. I did have an argument with the risk manager, Carl, because and that's what I said. I was like, you know what? Just last week, I was in a $40,000 drawdown, and I finished that week positive $18,000, and I took an $18,000 payout. Because by those metrics, if I'm using it as units, I'm down 3 daily loss limits, and any given day I can make 2 daily loss limits, and I went back to back double daily loss limit positive, and finished the week with another plus daily loss limit, and my daily loss limit's 12,000. I ended up 18,000 to the good after being down 40,000, and so there's I mean that's something, but it wasn't like a very big argument, right? It's just we have risk managers here that want to look out for the best, and when they see somebody who hits a daily loss limit or in a drawdown, they reach out and they say, hey, is there something that we could do to help? Do you think reducing your size is going to be better? Let's reduce your size, let's reduce your daily loss limit. I don't want to see you blow your account size. And he even said that. He's like, I don't want to see you blow your account. I don't want to see you take losses because number one, I want to make sure that you are doing okay in your account, and you don't let the TopstepTV get in your head and think that you're always needing to be making money in front of everybody. And I think the whole point of that conversation was him just really looking out for what's best to me, because he sees traders blow accounts all the time, and the last thing he wants to see is a coach or somebody that's on TopstepTV go through a loss or a drawdown like that. And then of course me just like, hey, I've went through it a few times, and I say argument. It was more of just a constructive conversation. But yeah, I said I've been in this 3 times. Last week I was in basically the same situation, and and I was joking with him. I'm like, yeah, same situation, and I ended up sending that risk manager apples. And it was lighthearted, and it was a fun conversation. But then there's always that one where you don't come out of a drawdown, and you get into a deeper drawdown, and it ended up going south, right? Carl, I was really just defending my trading style, the way I view it, because I can view it a little bit different than the risk manager's perspective, right? Because I'm a trader, and we have risk managers 100% looking out for what's best from the risk, and maybe does not, and I don't want that. Like, they don't need to know exactly the way I'm trading. Like, yeah, this is the way I'm looking at, and that's why we have those conversations, so we could go back and forth on those. Yeah. It's always good. And the funny thing is, when I do have those conversations, I do start to trade better. And then he's like, well, if that's the case, then I'll call you daily. So, and if I end up trading better, and if I get to new equity highs, I will tell him, call me every week. If you do, maybe call me every other day. And if it ends up making me trade better, then he could call me every day if he wanted to. Okay. Anyway, back to business. NASDAQ. Let's look at NASDAQ. Oh my gosh, we're just going up. We're getting close to all-time highs in the NASDAQ. Daily. Yeah, this is kind of pissing me off. And I'm not joking. And everyone knows I come from a background that's just a permanent bull. But the NASDAQ is really just going up, and it's going just up. And I am trying to be patient and wait for pullbacks. I've been looking for areas to get short in the NASDAQ. I was looking for shorts Tuesday, and got beat up on Tuesday in shorts. And that's where that conversation with the risk manager came into play. But oh my gosh, it's just crazy. Yeah. I mean, it says we've been saying that since 19,000. I mean, at least we had this pullback. Like this was a pullback, and now we're getting this huge rally. But like, even at least when we got to this zone in June, we got some consolidation. Like this is the consolidation that I've been looking for. And even here, right, we got a little bit of consolidation. Like this was a deeper pullback, right? This is like from basically 19,950 all the way down to 7. Like this was a 200-point pullback. That wasn't a lot, but at least it was 200 points. And here we got 100. I mean, it's nothing. Like it was nothing. We just went up, went to the right by 1 or 2 days, had a holiday in between, and now we're getting ready to hit all-time highs probably tonight. Are we going to be hitting all-time highs right now? Let's look at the 60-minute. That's a 5-minute. There's a 60-minute chart. Are we going to hit all-time highs now during stream? All-time high is what? An all-time high is 271.25. Oh my gosh. We're 6 points away from an all-time high. Man. See, this was the breakdown that I was looking for on Tuesday morning, but I was expecting us to have a little bit deeper of a pullback, and we never did get it. We just freaking rallied. And I took loss. I took a loss. And then and I do have to admit, last night I was looking for a short. I was looking for a rotation back down, and I took a loss. I think it was closer to the London. Yeah, this is where I got in short. I was actually looking for a short and seeing if we could get that rotation. I never did get it. I took that loss here. Just buy. What? It's so hard. And as much and as easy it is to say it is just find areas to buy it, be a perma-bull, which I typically am a perma-bull. It's so hard when the market is in this type of a situation. We're up 0.25%, 0.3% just tonight. Getting up, and we're so close to all-time highs. I don't even want to suggest looking for a pullback anymore. We'll see what tomorrow brings, because this is looking bullish. Like, why would we not? What's stopping us from breaking out? Like, tomorrow morning, if I wake up and we're at like 20,400, I would not be surprised if we're at 20,400, 20,300s tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not going to be touching NASDAQ right now. That's just, it's so frustrating. It's hard to buy it up here, and it's also just, it's hard to sell it too. So I'm gonna pass. But this looks bullish to me. Because why not? Why not hit all-time highs? Why not rally another 200-300 points? What's another few hundred points to the NASDAQ? Yeah, I mean, Tuesday, NVIDIA was up like 4%, and the rest of the market was down. Like Apple was down 1.5%. Microsoft was down. NVIDIA was up 4%, and NASDAQ just did not go down. Maybe we see 30,000. What's another 1,000 points? 21,000. Yeah, why not? Just the way the market's been going. It's just crazy. Tough. It's a tough market. It really is a tough market. It's simple to say with hindsight. You just buy it and it looks so easy, but it's very tough. If you've been trading for a while, this is a very, very tough market to trade. When you get situations like this, where you're like, man, that is a tough one, and then you get another situation like Tuesday where we just stop, run, and then turn around and hit all-time highs, or at least headed for all-time highs again. Let's move on to the next. Crude oil. Kind of similar fillings. Yeah, very similar fillings. I'm looking for a pullback down to $80 a barrel, and then I'm going to be looking for a long. Maybe we see something like this again, and we just get another continuation. But crude oil, very similar fillings like the NASDAQ, but I don't see crude oil as being overextended. Crude oil is actually being a lot more reasonable than the NASDAQ. If I'm comparing it to the NASDAQ, I would much rather see crude oil, get closer to $80 a barrel, because $80 a barrel is a key level, and it was acting as support back in April, acting as resistance in May. It acted as resistance here in June. And if we get down there, I would look for $80 a barrel, and it's a zone, to act as support. So that's what I'm looking at in crude. And right now, yeah, I don't want to sell crude. I'm definitely not going to be a seller of crude oil. I'm going to wait and see if I could buy a dip. Nikkei, this is the Japanese market. We had a very nice trade play out on the Nikkei that I missed. So essentially, it's just been kind of sell these rallies, and that is once again what happened. We sell the rally. That would have been a great opportunity to sell Nikkei. Nikkei's acting a lot better than the NASDAQ, right? Because it's a nice, clean price action in terms of like, hey, we're actually getting pullbacks. We're actually getting rallies and pullbacks. Decent pullbacks as well. I don't see anything tonight on the Nikkei. It's not at an area. I mean, if anything, it's looking at, we're already down 0.75%. We did break down below this miss, right? We did just break down below this. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a continuation down to 38,000, or even, 38,200, maybe 38,000 even, because we did break down below this recent support here on the Nikkei. Gold, that was the trade of the night. I missed it. I was highly distracted by something else. And then ES. Let's take a look at ES before I get to some more questions. ES at all-time highs? Is that what I'm seeing? ES is at all-time highs. Is that right? Yeah, I see there. Yeah, Lido, there was 2 opportunities for gold. I was talking about my 8 p.m. Central Open. Yeah, so ES all-time highs. Very nice, very clean break. Like look how beautiful this is. Like, I don't know. I'm falling in love with ES. Like, look at this. Beautiful support, resistance, support zone. Resistance became support. Here's resistance. We're breaking out of it. Is resistance going to become support again? No, knowing ES, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if, the 60s, 65 to 67 holds up and acts as support. Yeah, this is nice, clean price action. I mean, look how nice this is in terms of, look at that. Look how clean of a level that is. 55, 65 and a half is one heck of a resistance. And yeah, new all-time highs. If we zoom into a 5-minute chart, that was a clean break. That was a very, very clean break. Look at this. This is very interesting. Like, look at that. And I'm sure it lines up pretty well with this. We broke out. We had a nice pullback down to 55.66. And then we just going up. So new all-time highs for the ES, which kind of, does that mean that the NASDAQ will be making all-time highs? We came close. I wouldn't be surprised if we get there by tomorrow. All-time highs, the 71.25. But yeah, gold, there was that opportunity. That was a good trade, though. I'm happy that gold moved. So let's get to some more of these questions, guys, and then I'm going to end the stream. I got things to do. Yeah, I do. What percentage is for Topstep, and how much percentage is for you? Fix min, I'm not sure what you mean, but at Topstep, I get 90% of the profits. Like the other day, I took over $100,000, $134,000, and I got 90% of that. Please help me understand. Every time you trade a combine, then it gets to the XFA stage. Does that keep added to your live account? Yes. So that is another thing about Topstep that I do like, is you could have your one live account, and then you could still trade XFAs. And if you're trading XFAs and you do good in your XFAs, the profits from your XFAs can be transferred to your live account. You could pass your XFAs over and over again, and those balances be transferred to your live. I mean, your XFA is a complete separate evaluation, and the risk managers look at that as a complete separate evaluation, of course. And they do. I went through that one time. Like I went through, I got a live account. I had some more combines I was trading, and I passed. And then I got those into XFAs, and those XFAs I traded, and they got transferred to my live account. So, correct. You can have your XFAs and your live account as well. When do you think you will feel comfortable trading ES? I plan the end of this month, Samuel. I do plan to trade ES by the end of this month. I've been watching ES all month, and I think that I'm liking the market. I'm getting used to the price action. I don't want to say easier. I'm not going to say ES is a lot easier, but I think I'm going to really enjoy trading ES and find it a lot less stressful. Yeah, let's just say that. I think ES could be a lot less stressful, in my opinion, based off of how clean the price action has been, comparing it to the NASDAQ. Coach DBA, do you think that the big withdrawal affected you mentally in your subsequent trading days? Sam, yes. I think when I took that big payout, it has affected me in terms of my scaling and trading size. So I 100% agree that when I took that big payout and I went from like a 250K account down to a 100K account, live, the scaling and my position size, and that has affected me. I 100% will say that. And I went through that earlier. I just talked about it on the way I view it, the way like I've been thinking, the way that I've been talking about it, because it sucks. Drawdowns will always suck. A $45,000 drawdown in a $250,000 live account is a whole lot different than a $45,000 drawdown in a $100,000 live account. So it's like my drawdown that I've been dealing with is about the same size of the counts that are like on the top 10 leaderboard. And to put it in that type of a perspective, and when I'm seeing those numbers and, some traders are making it to the top 10 leaderboard, I'm like, gosh, that's the size of my drawdown. That's crazy to think of it like that. And it's like, well, I even have a $40,000 drawdown. And then by the end of the week, I make that up, and then plus 18,000. And in terms of thinking of it and like those percentage, when you start thinking about percentage wise, that's where it starts thinking. It's like, you know what, I want to get it to a bigger account size, and then I don't have to worry about that. But it's affected my trading, definitely. And that, yeah, and if it didn't, I probably wouldn't be having those conversations with the risk managers, if that makes sense. What do you mean? Let's look at the count. I think that's most of the questions. I think I got it. Let me see. Okay, one more. If you have an XFA account with a balance of 55,000, if transferred to live, do you get a $55,000 live account? Yes, you do. If your XFA is at 55,000, when you get transferred to live, you'll have a $55,000 live account. Yeah, that's how it works. But you have the opportunity to withdraw some of that. I would definitely withdraw some of that. Christopher Kramer. Oh, there's Rips. Oh, and also, I'll tell you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be I will let you guys know of a fun little surprise that I'm going to be doing next week. So tomorrow I'll give you some fun news. I'm going. Everybody knows I'm going to be doing something, and I'll give you more details tomorrow. Yeah, and that's Rips. Rips may or may not be a part of it. Oh man, one heck of a stream, guys. 100,000 subscribers. Yep, and I kind of botched this stream at the beginning, so I got stuff to do. No, I'm not getting married. Sorry, but I'm gonna go celebrate the 100,000 subscribers.